welcome to the Innermost Ramblings of Fiona, a podcast. I'm Fiona, surprise, surprise, and this is a space where I've decided to release some of the things that come from my innermost parts, my ramblings, as a podcast. It's been born from this space of discovering that I really like being out of voice memo, that a lot of the time I don't know my experience until I can talk about it. And then as I speak, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of truth in that. Wow, that was really pivotal for me. Wow. And yeah, I want to share that with the world. There's multiple reasons that I've started this podcast, and yeah, that's one of them. The connection piece that voice memos allows me to have with other people on a personal level, and now I'm wanting to release that at another level as a podcast, and also attending 12 steps and just the sharing of experience, strength and hope as people share unedited has been really helpful for me, because I just learn so much from listening to people talk about their experience. I can identify myself in that experience and learn from them. And again, other podcasts that do the same thing, where I just listen to someone's experience and I'm like, wow, I am taking so much away from someone else sharing honestly where they're at and how they experience the world, what their truth is. Maybe it's not my truth, but I can then work out what my truth is. So welcome to this podcast as I ramble, and I hope that it is a place that you can find yourself in, even if not in my experiences, but start to work out your own truth. Thank you for joining me. May you enjoy. From my heart to yours. It's like I just feel so much anxiety, like there's something that I've got to do, something that I'm moving away from constantly. And when I stop and slow down, it's like that's exactly what I need is to do that, is to release something. I'm trying to hold on to something that needs to move out of me, and I don't have to understand what that thing is. Like, mostly I need to just have a good cry, like to let it, whatever it is, move out of me freely. To just breathe. I've been very not present, very focused on doing particular things rather than being present in my body, because it's felt so uncomfortable. And there's this panic of like, there must be something I have to do, there must be I'm missing something to alleviate this panic, this anxiety. Like everything has to happen really quickly, and I can't be present with myself. Yeah. Feels really, even when I do stop, it's kind of like I don't want to stop for too long. But not stopping is creating just days and days of just getting through. And this tension, like I hold so much tension in my lower belly. And I realized a couple of months ago, maybe even longer than that, maybe a year ago, that the pain that I get in my belly, which has been a lifelong thing, is directly related to not shedding tears. Like, I'm just holding it. If I don't let it go, it's got to go somewhere. It just gets stuck in my belly. I'm literally holding on to things that aren't me or mine, to hold, to have. That feels really important today. I'm exhausted by my internal world, which makes me toey and isolate. Like, I feel too much for myself. I can't let anyone else into that space because it's taking so much effort to hold it all in. And I've felt very socially anorexic today. One of the 12 steps that I go to, that is the term they use, socially anorexic. Like, just noticing that I want to isolate, noticing a lot of patterns. I think one of the big patterns I've noticed today is, in the last couple of days, is just this event exhaustion, this event fatigue, wanting to go to events, to connect with people and be at the same places and events as friends, but realizing I can't do both. I either am hanging out with friends or I'm at an event. I can't do both and be fully present. And I don't necessarily understand the reason or the connection for that, but I'd rather be anonymous at an event so I can just do my own thing. I think there's a feeling of obligation. Like, if I go somewhere with someone, then I feel obligated to spend time with them, rather than just, like, if I go shopping, I prefer to go shopping by myself. If I go, I'm thinking specifically of, like, I went to an event last year and knew only 2 people, and then I met a bunch of people that they knew, so friends of friends. And then on the last day, everybody left early, so I didn't know anyone. And all of a sudden I felt free to just, that was the day I enjoyed the most. I didn't feel like I had to do what everyone else was doing. I could just do what I wanted to do and come and go as I please. And yeah, noticing, like, I like the anonymity. I like not knowing anyone because I don't know how to disentangle myself from obligation, from being at an event and feeling like I need to walk around with them, or like farmers markets. We often go as a family for family catch-ups and stuff, but I'd rather just wander around by myself and look at all the stalls, and I don't want to know anyone at the stalls. I just want to look at the stalls. Like, so much of my life, traveling with friends, traveling with family, like, go to a national park, go to the beach. I want to go and play in the rock pools by myself. I want to go and climb the cliffs by myself. I want to know that there's a home base I can come back to, but not feel obligated to be there. To know, that I can just, like, my human interaction literally is like knowing that there's someone over there, but not feeling like I ever need to engage with them. Like, that feels like home. And I've pathologized that. Like, I've made that bad. Like, I should be able to maintain and sit around and be in a circle all afternoon and just do what everybody else is doing. But that's never been my way of being. I was terrified of water as a child. Terrified of water and frozen through in about 3 seconds. So like when we'd go to the beach as a family, my brother and sister would play all day at the beach, in the water, and I would wander off by myself and make friends with rock pools. And I went to the Northern Territory with friends. There was 8 of us, and a lot of that was spent just wanting space. Like, I'm with you, but you guys play in the water here, and I'm going to go explore over there. It's never as enjoyable for me if we're all walking around together. I don't know how to do togetherness. And for the last 6 months, I've put a lot of pressure onto myself to show up at events where I know people. I was thinking this morning, I used to be an event planner, or part of a team that helped to plan events. Every 6 weeks it was a meal for 20 pluses. And yeah, I think I liked being a part of the organizing team way more than I liked just attending, because it was, again, that distance, that perspective, that separation. Like, connection feels uncomfortable. I pathologized. I have and continue to. I'm just really sitting with, like, maybe that's just how I do this, how I experience this, because again, this whole like last 6 months, that audio cuts off really quick. I must have got distracted. I have now listened to that again and been like, wow, I've learned so much. Like, I recorded that quite a while ago now, and it just to reflect back and be like, what happens if none of that is bad? All of that is information about myself and how I interact with the world. Yes, I've spent 6 months trying to intentionally put myself in situations at events where I can interact with people, and my friends are there, and that's not a bad thing. That just means that I'm wanting connection, and creating space for that is not a bad thing. Just realizing how I experience that. Like, what happens if it is okay that I just like knowing that there's a home base that I can come back to, that wandering off by myself is where I find the beauty and the connection, and that my human interaction is with like crowds of people where I can be a little bit anonymous. That's okay. That's part of myself. And there are times and places where I want one-on-one connection, and that doesn't have to be at those events. Like, I feel like that's a really powerful awareness and a really powerful shift, and to come into a place of accepting that feels like growth. Like, to articulate all of this and then listen back and be like, this is how I show up in the world right now. Maybe not forever, but finding the authenticity in that, and accepting the authenticity in that, and accepting, like, I do feel connected when I know you guys are sitting here having a picnic, you guys are sitting here having a swim, you guys are sitting here doing your thing, and I'm going to go off for an hour and come back and you'll still be here. And that's okay. I have full permission to do that. Because it's not, like, I don't owe anything to anyone ever. I can just I can do what I need and connect in a way that feels good and authentic to me. That feels really huge, and like a step towards another level of acceptance. Yeah. Thanks. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the innermost ramblings of Fiona. Thanks for coming along for the ride and listening to things that are dear to me, close to my heart, sometimes uncomfortable to share. I hope there's been something that you could identify and take away, or that you just got to know me a little better. If you would like to find me, I am on Instagram at @Iam_embodied expression, or I am Fiona __, or you can email me, or you can download the Anchor app and voice memo me, which is kind of exciting. Yeah, and I'll leave it there. May you have a good evening, morning, day, from my heart to yours. Ashe.